do like a versus me and Clav, I think I would win. To be honest, I think I have more appeal than Clav. You could clip that too.
Mm.
So like, I was down for it, but he ended up like running somebody over, and then like he got distracted, and like it just never happened. But yo,
Yeah.
Clav, if you still down to do the verses, bro, like let's.
What's up, guys? I'm here with Austin Dunham. They call him Digital Romeo, right?
That's right, Digital Romeo. Yes, sir. You already know, man.
That was back in the day. I remember that's what I seen you call yourself that one time. You one of the OG looks maxers for the guys that don't know. Even though looks maxing has changed now, like before, it was just like, all right, let me get my beard right. You can get your eyebrows right with like minoxidil. Now it's like you need a nose job, you need a jaw filler, you need all these surgeries. So like, would you still call yourself a looks maxer?
That's a tough one. Honestly, I would say I wouldn't say I'm a looks maxer in the sense of the modern looks maxing community, but I
Mm,
would say that I'm an optimizer for sure. Like
mm.
I optimize everything about my life, looks, my physique, my mental, like absolutely everything. I'm an optimizer, so I'm a life maxer. How about that?
I like that. That's what I say too, because because I'm 26, you're like 30, right?
30. Yeah,
Damn.
I know, man. Time flies, bro. I've been doing content since I was 18, like half my life, damn near. So,
Mm,
I've seen a lot of changes in the space. I remember when looks maxing first got popular. I remember when the red pill wave started. But for me, it started off with my physique, right? So
yeah.
I feel like with most looks maxers, usually maybe it's different nowadays, but usually it starts off with like fitness and physique. Like that's the first thing, and then it slowly moves towards like your face, But
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. At
So
this point, it's all about maintenance. So to be honest,
yeah, just keeping it up. So you said you're 30 now. So how old were you when you really started blowing up and like when you realized like, oh shoot, I'm on the internet, I got cloud, I got motion. Like how old were you when that started?
I was I made my first six figures online when I was 21, but I didn't. Maybe when I was like 22, 22, 23.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good time to blow up because you're just getting into your 20s. And I'm sure all your friends were like broke, confused college kids. And then you're like blowing up. You got money. I don't know if you had bought a car. I don't know if you were
Yeah.
like flashy at that time, but like, how was it being like, okay, I got six figures. I'm doing this on social media, and then your friends are like nowhere on your level. Did you?
Yeah.
Because where I'm at right now, I'm kind of starting up from the bottom. I'm starting to get a little bit of steam, and I'm already seeing like the divide. I be thinking like, you got to cut off your day ones if you want to go to the top, because your friends, a lot of the times, bro, they're just not really trying to hear or really do the work it takes, and they're not really hip to like they all can talk and be like, yeah, start a business. Yeah, we could do this. We could be rich. But when it comes to like, all right, send your $2,000. We're gonna do this business, or let's get this going. All of a sudden, it's just like crickets. But how was that with you? Did you have a cut your day one stage, or how was that?
Yeah. So first off, I've never been a flashy guy. Like I could have 10 million to my name and like you probably won't know it. So
Mm,
within that time frame, I was in college in a very small school in Valdosta,
mhm,
South Georgia. And there's like nothing to do in that town. And we had like a Dollar General, a few bars. And so even if I wanted to ball out, like I really couldn't.
mm,
And so during that time frame, all I remember was that whilst everybody was kind of like worried about gas prices, grocery, I was just kind of living my life. I just didn't worry about like the small stuff. But I've always been in the mindset of reinvesting into myself. And just stacking bread, right? So that's sort of where my mindset was at. I've always been like a long term sort of save for a rainy day, invest because like I'm 30 now and time has fly, but I don't know what I want to do when I'm like 40 or like how the space is going to be in my 40s. Like I want to set myself up in which I could like fuck off and do whatever I want by that
Mhm.
time. So
Yeah.
that's kind of been my mindset. But in terms of cutting off my day ones, no, I've never been a believer in that. I feel like friends and people meet you at certain times in your life, but I will cut off people who um, show a lack of respect
Mhm.
or if we're really not aligned with our values or goals. But
Mhm.
I have normal friends. I was in the Air Force ROTC program. I got friends who are pilots right now. I got friends who are in insurance, normal jobs. It's
Yeah.
not that I hang out with them, but I keep in touch. And I'm not like, oh, since bro isn't making 100K a month, like I gotta cut him. Like, no, I've never been that type of guy. No, as
Mm.
long as our values align and as long as you don't cross me, I've had to cut off friends for essentially stealing from me, which
Mm.
meaning
Like
that they
like
never paid me
physically,
back.
like, give me that shit or like or DM or like what?
So I helped them out
Mhm.
in a way in which their family didn't help them out or like nobody. And so as a friend, I helped them out by giving them some money for whatever it may be. And then,
Yeah.
of course, they end up never paying me back, even though they very well could have. And I'm talking
Mm.
about like years later. So like situations like that, I had to cut some people off. But even then, at a certain point of income level, what I've realized is that your taste and the things you can do doesn't align with some of your previous friends. And so because of that, it's like naturally the friendship will start to disintegrate anyway.
Yeah.
Because like yeah, I want to go to nice restaurants and we're
Right.
over here talking about splitting a $6 Uber. So it's
Mhm.
like after a while it just doesn't make sense. But you know,
Nah, facts. And I'm not even like if my friends are broke and I'm doing all these things and they're like, "Hey, I got to eat McDonald's. We got to go to like Hotel 6 or whatever. We got to go to the cheapest hotel. We got to live in dirt for now." And it's just like, okay, I'm not even mad about that. Like if my friend was broke, if he didn't have anything, I wouldn't really trip about that. My thing is like, bro, we gotta put in this amount of work. We gotta like whatever it is you're trying to do. If you're trying to make music, be a musician, you're trying to start a business, you're trying to be a YouTuber, like we gotta start putting out stuff. We gotta put reps up and we gotta put the work in. And it's like if you're making excuses and you don't want to do that, like you don't want to start that process, and then you're broke on top of that, it's like, all right, bro, what are we really doing? That's kind of like what I'm running into because I got friends and stuff, and I got people I know that they have big aspirations. I feel like now everybody wants to be like an influencer or something, or at least
mhm.
financially free. So everybody got these big aspirations, but when it comes to, all right, bro, 18-hour days. We're waking up at 4 or whatever it is. They're just like, bro, like my auntie is home, or like I gotta watch my niece. And it's like, well, bro, I got an auntie too. Like, what are we doing? And it's like there's
Yeah.
always excuses. But
So
nah,
so
yeah,
so no, I was gonna say so one thing you gotta remember is that you can't really depend on like your friends or nobody to like go on the journey with you.
yeah.
And that's one thing in terms of my path is that I had a team, but like that team and like people I met who helped me get to where I wanted to go were from like other states. But like
Mm,
people in my immediate surrounding, like I never relied on anybody. I never like tried to like form a path like with people. I've always done stuff myself, and you guys can do whatever you guys want to do. But
mm,
this is what I'm doing, you know. So I wouldn't you ever I'm sure you probably heard of like nobody's coming to save you, like that whole idea.
mm.
Like I wouldn't rely on friends to like do the journey with you or anything like that because it's likely not going to happen.
Nah, that's facts. That's facts. So let's get into a little bit of looks, Max. And so um when it comes to taking somebody that's ugly, that's chopped, that's, they don't have a lot of hope, um, let's just say like a sub 5. Let's just say all of their looks in general are like, they have a lot of stuff to work on. What would be the quickest, fastest, most efficient way that you could take like somebody from ugly to handsome?
Yeah.
As
The
AKA
quickest.
ascend.
Yeah. So it really comes down to a few things. One, if it's a bone issue, that's different. But we will start off with like the basics, bro. Like
Mhm,
body fat percentage, fitness is
mhm,
the foundation because getting lean does solve a lot of problems. So that'll be the very first thing, alongside with general grooming and soft maxing, as they call it. Like
mhm,
that's the easiest, most simplest step. Now, that may take somebody upwards 2 months or even like a year. It really depends on like their starting point, to be honest.
mhm.
But some grooming changes you can make within a week or two. I've
Yeah.
had guys come into my program. I'm like, listen, let's get this haircut. Go get your eyebrows done. This that, and you'll be surprised. Like for me, a lot of this stuff was common sense because I had such a strong awareness of my presentations since I was a teenager. But
Mhm.
some guys grow up without ever having realization of like their or awareness of like their looks.
Yeah.
And so whenever I tell them this, it's like almost shocking information for them. And then when they go do it, they look like a whole different person. And then when they lose the fat on top of that, it's like they're
Mhm.
a completely different being. So I would say fitness, grooming, hair, just though that's really the foundation. All that stuff can be done within like a 4 to 6 week time frame.
So when you say grooming, that's interesting. What is like the biggest grooming mistake that guys make that's like, bro, just change this and like you'll be better. What is it most that guys mess up with grooming?
Yeah. So have you heard of dimorphism?
Yeah, absolutely. But explain to
Yeah.
them real quick what that is for the normies
Gotcha.
out there.
Gotcha. So your dimorphism is having traits or characteristics aligned towards your specific gender, obviously masculine. And dimorphism is what separates your distinct look between masculine and feminine.
Mhm,
So the more dimorphic your look is as a man, generally the more attractive you are, especially if you're above 25 years old. You
mhm,
know, and so the very first thing in terms of grooming, I always ask, can we grow facial hair? Facial hair is like one of the easiest dimorphic traits a man can have that can usually ascend their looks. You know,
mhm,
very few people can pull off like the clean shave. I think I could pull it off, and I tested it out. But
mhm,
even then, like a lot of women still prefer me with facial hair. So it's like, can we grow facial hair? If not, minoxidil 5% foam. Run that twice a day. Last step of the skincare routine. But not only that, um, little things in terms of like your hairline. Are you recessed? Are you thinning? How can we fix that to have a lower, more straighter hairline? Eyebrows, dense, thick and dark, paws. Like just little stuff like that can help increase one's dimorphism and just overall sex appeal too, which is kind of tied into like dimorphism.
mhm.
But those are like the big grooming elements. But it comes down to like your genetics, but also like your facial structure. So some guys may look better with like a disconnected goatee versus like a stubble beard.
Mhm. No, yeah. I would say, yeah, it really depends on kind of how your jaw looks and your bones and your genetics because some people, for the most part, I would expect clean shaven to short stubble would be like the best, but some people do have beards and it's like nah, it actually works better. And then when they shave it, I'm like, oh yeah, you shouldn't have shaved. Like actually, the beard works for you. It's kind of hard to say, but people like James Harden never shave your beard, James. Like people like that. I don't know if you know Andrew Wilson. He got a beard, but he's a little bit older and he got fat too, like body fat. So something like that, I would say a beard is more for like hiding kind of what they call fraud maxing. I would say a beard is gonna like cover some of the you know, like unappealing parts about your face. The phthalo is what they call it, which is just like shit that doesn't look good on your face. And
Yeah.
there's different ways you can cover these up. Like a beard is one of them. But I think clean shaven, if you can do it, if you can pull it off, of course, you gotta probably have a chiseled, like, dimorphic jaw. Um, I think that would be the best option for sure. Yeah, I try to do clean shaven too. Um, I think that just looks the best to me. But
See,
have
see,
you like if you shaved right now, right? Like if you just weren't clean shaven, do you think you would look better?
I don't think I will look better. I would just have, I would look kind of similar, but I will have different appeal or pull
Mm,
towards, if we were talking about like women too, like I'll have different appeal towards certain women. So obviously I would look younger.
yeah.
I might have that like, some people say like I have that like college like athlete sort of look whenever like I shave, you
Mm,
know. So maybe I would have a little bit more pull with like some younger women if that was my goal. But I don't think I would look worse or better. I think it really comes down to like subjective and also like your surrounding area. So what's science and studies have found is that if you're in a specific area where there's more men who have beards, not having a beard can make you look more attractive and then vice versa. So if you're in an area where a lot of people are like clean shaven and like very uh, clean cut looking, like having
mhm,
a bit of like edginess and sex appeal can make you look more attractive too. So it
mm,
really depends on the trends, the environment that you're in, and also target demographic you want to attract, but also your age too. I
mm.
don't think I would look worse, but I think objectively, most women would say I prefer you better with like a light stubble or some sort of facial hair.
Yeah. I think it would cast the widest net for sure. But you said something interesting there. You was like, if I was trying to get young women, I'd shave. So it's like, well, then shave then, right? You know what I'm saying?
I
Don't
got
you
you, bro.
want like the 18 to 24 young, sexy, hot baddies? Like, isn't that what we want?
So, so what I found is that it's
He's
not really
30, by
black
the
and
way,
white.
guys.
Yeah, yeah, it's not really black and white. Like I can attract like 19, 20, 21 year olds with this look right now, but
Yeah.
I would probably attract them in a higher majority if I was
Mm,
to shave, right? Just because that will make me look younger and that sort of appeals to their lens of attraction at that stage in their life. But personally, once you reach, I mean, yeah, once you reach my age, like 18, 19 is like it sounds good on the surface,
it does.
but
That's
when
where
you
I'm at.
actually when you actually like have a conversation and like try to like communicate, like there's like zero
Mm,
relatability, like chemistry, that is like very difficult actually. So what I found is that usually 22 to like 26
mhm.
usually tends to be best. But yeah.
I hear that. I hear that. So, well, I feel like it's in two different boxes. Like, if you want to kind of casually date, and then if you want to start a family and get a wife, because I'm thinking like I'm kind of retired from dating. I don't really date. I used to have my like cold approach. Back when I used to watch you, like this was before like the people like Clav and the Looks Maxers now, but it was more like, hey, you guys and like Kyle, Coach Kyle, you know him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to like watch that. And that was more like you got to get out, you got to talk to women, you got to get phone numbers, you got to do things like that. So I went through that phase. And I feel like if you go through that, you're kind of gonna be good just to like most guys now can't really even hold up conversation too good or like flirt or like push pull method and things like that. So I'm really good. Like I mean, I just need other things, like money, status, things like that. But I feel like game is very quickly learned. Like it's something that you could go out really in the summer and kind of learn. But what was I trying to ask you? Yeah, so back with the women though, with the age. So if you were to find a wife, because this is how it is for me, I want a girl that's like 18 if I'm gonna get married. So she can have the most kids as possible. I'm trying to get like 10, 12. If I could get like 20 kids, like that would be amazing. I would love
By
that,
one
honestly.
girl.
Yeah, I know that would be like that would be tough.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm Christian, I'm not gonna do the polygamy, but if I as many girls, I mean, as many kids as I could get from this girl, that would be great. So I'm thinking like 18. And then of course, she's gonna grow older over time, and it's gonna be a lot about the genetics and like her fertility and stuff like that. But I do agree with you as far as like the conversations go. But I don't really plan on talking to her too much. You know, I'm gonna be out there, I'm gonna be working. I don't
Mm.
I don't need to connect on a, "Hey, like, you watch the same show as me?" Or like, "You remember this movie? You remember like X-Men, Avengers when this?" And she's like, "No, I've never seen that." It's like, "Okay, we're getting a
Yeah.
divorce." I don't need that, but I just more need the shared common goal of like, "Okay, you're gonna submit, you're gonna have my kids. You want the best for me, I want the best for you. We're in this, like, for better, for worse, till death do us part. All right, boom, and then whatever after that. But for you though, does the age range and your kind of things you look for change when it comes to casual and wife?
Yeah, so casual, I could care less. Honestly, the 18 to like 45 is game, to be honest. Not gonna lie.
45 is crazy.
40, yeah. Bro, I live in Miami. There's some like
Hey,
40-year-old women who look like they're in their like late 20s. Kid you not.
nah, I believe it.
So yeah, like casual, like everything's on the table. Single moms, whatever. I literally don't care. But in terms of like relationship, long term partner material, it depends on your age. For me, I wasn't concerned about like is she like 19 or 20 years old? More so, is she just young enough? And what
Mhm,
I found is that usually at a minute at a minimum for me, like
mhm.
25 was like ideal. Um,
So
so yeah,
21, no, no for you. 21's a no.
21's fine too, but I'm saying like up to 25 is like ideal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it depends on like the guy's goals. Like for me personally, I don't want like 10 kids or anything like that. I'll be okay with two, you know?
Wait,
So
how you gonna have a football team though?
I don't want a football team.
What?
No.
So what if you could are you gonna force your son to do something like you gotta be an actor, you gotta be a football player, you gotta be what would you
Yeah.
want your son to be?
Yeah. They're definitely going to be in sports. They're going
Hmm.
to be in anything creative, testing different things out, see how good they are.
Hmm.
I think that's just general good parenting, like just putting them in something, rotate throughout seasons or whatever. And then from there, usually by age probably 12, 13, you'll get a grasp of what they're good at, also what they're inclined to do, or like what they naturally gravitate towards. So for me, oddly enough, a lot of people don't know this, but I gravitated towards like creative stuff like music. I played brass instruments. I've always loved music. I did play sports like growing up, but music and this sounds crazy, but like puzzles, like solving. I was a really good 3x3 Rubik's cube solver when I was like 11 years old.
Mm.
So I was a straight
You could
like
do it like in
nerd.
a minute.
Like 20 seconds, 15 seconds.
Dang, bro. You could still do that?
Yeah. It was
That's
a
crazy.
it was a party. It's still a party trick. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I gravitated towards, and then naturally I've always been into like sharing my ideas and
Hmm.
stuff, and then that's how I got led to like YouTube because I grew up watching like YouTube videos. So I didn't really watch YouTube, I mean TV like that.
Hmm.
So it's like my path naturally found me, right, and my purpose naturally found me. So yeah, that's what I would do. I feel like it will all work out, but you never know. Never know. I'm pretty athletic too, so I think they will get pretty good genius towards that.
Okay, that makes sense. So this is another big topic that kids are doing nowadays that I dibble and dabble in. And, a lot of people, when this is done wrong, it's very, very dangerous. And when it's done right, it's very beneficial. We're talking about steroids, peptides, things like that. So I'll say, what I've dibbled and dabbled in for me. I've done testosterone, just the regular TRT dosage, which is like 250 milligrams. Um, I found that to be pretty good. However, I'm Nigerian, so I already had like my test was like 750 to start out with. So I really didn't
Mhm.
need it. And when I went into the clinic, the lady was like, "Oh my gosh, like this is the highest natural test I've ever seen." I was like, "Bro, like I'm really
Mm.
him." I was ready to walk out, but at that point I was like, I already decided because that was my first steroid. So I was like, I already decided that I'm gonna get on something, so I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
But I since my test was kind of already high, once I started to get my like diet right, I started to like prioritize protein, prioritize meat and things like that. Then my test started to get even higher. It was like I didn't really need testosterone. So, but I do tell guys if your test is low, like 100, 200, we're in a test epidemic right now. You know, I had my friend who I was telling them about my test experience. He was like, "Cool, yeah, yeah. Let me go get my test checked." His test was 150. I was
Mm.
like, "Bro, how are you alive right now? Like, how are you going to work? How do you wake up? I don't understand." Like, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
guys out there that are like sitting at that range that would never even know, like, bro, you have the test of a woman right now, and they wouldn't even realize. But I would say test, and in that case, if you need it, TRT, and then I've dabbled in like a little bit of low dose HGH. Um, I wouldn't go over like 3 IUs, 3 to 4 IUs. That's just something that's a little bit of a boost. It's gonna help your skin, it's gonna help your hair, it's gonna help your sleep, your muscle gain and fat burning is gonna help a little bit. But I don't like the bodybuilder dosages and up to
Yeah.
like 12 IUs, up to like 15 IUs, and then you got to cycle on and off. I'm not a cycle guy. I don't like cycles. I only like doing things that I can coast for life. So that'd be
Yeah.
like TRT, low dose HGH. And then I've dabbled with some IGF too as well. It's kind of similar to HGH, but I wouldn't do anything that's crazy that's gonna like wreck my hormones like trend. I don't tell guys to do trend. I don't ever suggest trend. Things like that. What is there? D-bol and anadrol and stuff like that. That's where I'm like, hey, unless you are an IFBB pro and you're gonna like compete for this like 2, 3 week or whatever, I guess that's your job. But as far as like, hey, guy DM me, I'm trying to ascend. Like I've never, nah, not trend, not none of that. But what is your experience with steroids, and do you prescribe people to do stuff like that?
Yeah. So I've never taken a steroid, TRT, anything ever in my life. Always been
Wow.
natural this entire time.
Mm,
I don't recommend it, especially for me. Like, of course, it crossed your mind because I got my test tested and I
hmm
was on the lower to medium range, like 350, 400,
hmm
like nothing spectacular, nothing great. So it's like logically, oh, should I do this or not?
Wait, what'd you say your
Maybe
your test was?
like 350, 400, 300.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So
And when
not
when was
great.
this?
This is like 2 years ago.
Were you surprised?
Yeah, yeah. Just because like my physique is pretty good,
Yeah.
libido is fine,
Did you
but you don't know
feel
what you don't know.
did you feel like low energy or like lower drive? What made you want to get it checked?
Just out of curiosity, I've never
Mm,
done it before, so I was like, I want to see where I'm at. Yeah,
mm,
I didn't feel lower drive or anything though. Like, but maybe I am, and I just don't know. It's kind of like how somebody for a long time can't see until they get glasses for the first time. They're like, "Holy shit! I didn't know the world was this clear."
yeah.
Maybe it'll be something like that. I don't know. But for me, I've always felt fine. I've always had high ambition, high drive. I go to the gym. I do cardio. Like
hmm
I'm fine. So who knows the version of me that's higher? But personally, I wouldn't do it just because I'm curious why you did it. Maybe to like accelerate stuff faster. But
hmm
I've always been like afraid from like health reasons. Like my
hmm
dad had prostate cancer, um, and I just don't want I just don't want anything that can impact my health in a negative way, or that could take years off my life for like marginal like muscle gain, you know?
Mm.
So maybe when I'm like mid 40s, I'll consider it. Maybe even then, like I really don't know. But I've never done anything. At most peptides, I've done BBC 157
Mhm.
because I like sprained my ankle when I was boxing, and I did a little
Oh,
bit of NAD plus.
bro, I saw your one boxing video, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna bring that up. I won't bring that up unless you want to talk
Yeah.
about it.
I mean, we could bring it up.
It just made me think of that when you said boxing.
Yeah, well, I've made a few boxing videos over the past few years. I'm not sure which one you saw.
It was the one. It was the one where you like try. Well, it wasn't on video, but you were like you tried to fight somebody and it didn't go too well. You hopped in the what's it called? A sparring like immediately. You like
Yeah,
yeah, you like sparred immediately.
yeah. So I was training for like maybe 3 4 months, and I sparred a amateur fighter. Like he wasn't like crazy, but he had like 2 3 fights under his belt. You
Mhm,
know, we're just supposed to go light,
mm,
but maybe I hit too hard. I don't know. And I literally don't remember. I just remember it was like the last round, 30 seconds left, and I was kind of going around, and I don't remember getting hit. I just remember waking up. I'm like, what happened? You're like,
that's
oh,
crazy.
bro, got you right on the chin. I'm like, what? And then he was like on the bag, just like literally out the ring on the bag, hitting the bag, just acting like he didn't
Yeah.
apologize, nothing. I'm like, these
D-
guys are just trying to
Dang.
prove shit.
Did you
But
dab
yeah,
him
that's
up
when
after?
I spoke to him a little bit because I wanted to know more about. I didn't really know much about him.
Mm,
But yeah, that's when I like when I fell down, like twisted my ankle.
mm.
So
So
uh,
that's crazy though. That's crazy because I would be mad too if they hit me. They're telling me like, yeah, he got you on the job because it's like it's already happened, but they're like explaining to you like what man. That's just crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, that's what's up though. That's what's up. I was about to ask you something about that. I forgot what it was. Um, yeah, but we're talking about steroids. Yeah, okay. So you haven't done one before, and you said you did BPC. That's what's up. I saw a video that you made where you tried NAD, and it was like a supplement. And at that time, I was doing NAD as well. I was actually doing that same one that you did. That was kind of popular at the time. Now people have NAD, the peptide, where they,
that's what
inject
I was
that.
doing too.
Oh, you did that too?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. So as far as because that's like the muscle stuff we were talking about, test and um BPC is kind of like for recovery. But as far as like mentally, there's another wave which is like nootropics, and that's kind
yeah.
of like people trying to optimize their alertness, their cognitive function, um, you know, even like IQ max, and there's a lot of different things that you could take. Of course, you got the NAD, that's more for like the energy. I don't really think it does too much. I've tried the NAD peptide injection, and I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie, I didn't really feel anything like that. I don't know, maybe my NAD was cool, but when I did you remember the green capsules when they had the NAD in the green capsules before it was that brand. You know what I'm
No,
talking
I don't remember.
about?
I don't remember green capsules, but I remember capsules.
It was capsules in a green little container.
Uh,
Yeah, but when I took those, I felt cool, but it was crazy because they like stopped making those. But the NAD injections didn't really feel much. I'm about to try Mod C, which they said is better than NAD. Fat burning. It
yeah.
helps you get into that workout flow, boost your mitochondria cell function or whatever. So interested in seeing how that is. Um, also read a true tide. We got to talk about that too. But there's things like dihexa, bromontane. modafinil that are kind of like light Adderalls, not really an Adderall, but like into that light Adderall, you know what I'm saying? Like something that
Yeah.
you could do that you could manage that gets you going. Like I take modafinil, I take bromotain, which is kind of like boost your dopamine. And I take dihexa too sometimes. That is like that's what they say the IQ max. I don't know if it actually works to
Yeah.
boost your IQ, but I more just do the therapeutic feeling. Like, how do I feel? Feel good? Okay, boom. I don't know what it actually does, but as far as like the cognitive boost, what have you dibbled and dabbled in that? I mean, even go to like caffeine or Adderall or whatever to get, because when you're an influencer, people are like, I got my stack. I got my Adderall, I got my caffeine, my coffee,
Yeah.
or I'm a white monster guy. Like, what is your like go-tos?
No, for sure. So I'll go through the list. Obviously, caffeine, that's like a daily thing, to be honest. Weekends, I take caffeine off though, just
Hmm.
to reset the body a little bit. I've had a Adderall here and there. It's very infrequent. I might take Adderall like 2 to 3 times a year for
Hmm.
maybe like the past 3 to 4 years. Um,
What would make you take
and
a Addy?
sometimes I just have a lot of stuff to do. I got to film 3 videos. I got to script 2. I got 3 coaching calls. Like
Mm.
some days it's just really tough. And then more, I've never, I should tell you that. I was about to say I never bought Adderall myself. I bought it one time, like in 2020. But like sometimes I'm just around people who may have it. And then it's just like, oh, let me grab a few. And they're like, cool, no worries. So
Hmm.
it's like, it's super infrequent. I've never had an
Usually
addiction
women.
towards Adderall. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah.
always
Like
got it.
yeah, in school or whatever, they be studying. Always women though, yeah. Uh, One thing that has been brought up is Phenaboo. Have you heard of Phenaboo?
Yes, I've
Yeah.
tried it.
So college, I took. So instead of drinking, I'll go out and I'll take like the Phenaboo. This is back in like 2015, 2014. This is before
Oh,
it was like super popular. You know. Um,
was it the
yeah.
capsules? Was it the nose spray or?
Nah, it was Phenaboo HCl powder, so it was very tart. And I'll
They
take
had the
like
little
two.
spoon thing.
Yeah, but you would just mix it in water and
Mm,
just take a shot of it, and it tasted really bad. But
yeah.
that will kind of like lower like social anxiety and like inhibition like naturally, where
Hmm.
you just feel a little bit more socially confident. That's I mean that's technically a form of a nootropic, I guess. But
Yeah, it
in
is.
terms of yeah, in terms of cognitive stuff though, nowadays it's L-tyrosine
Hmm.
with CDP choline.
Mm.
L-tyrosine is a dopamine precursor that essentially helps rebuild the building blocks of dopamine and helps you focus, especially taking on an empty stomach. Like
Hmm.
it's actually pretty good.
Is that daily for you?
For like 3 to 4 times a week.
Okay.
CDP choline is good for verbal fluency, so I usually take that before I do any sort of like content, long form, whatever. Kind of just helps my thoughts flow a bit easier and
Hmm.
no brain fog or anything like that. Is there anything else? I think those honestly those are like the main ones in terms of that I consistently use right now. To be
Hmm.
honest, I've taken modafinil too. It kind of felt like a stronger caffeine for me. Like maybe I took like 350, 400 milligrams of caffeine,
Hmm.
but that wasn't too crazy for me.
So you took modafinil, you didn't like add it to the stack? When I took it, I fell in love.
No, this was back in 2020 though, like during the pandemic time frame. So
Mm.
I vaguely remember it was some website with modafinil Mike. Does that sound familiar?
Nah, I wasn't on it
Yeah,
back then.
gotcha. But there's like really only one website selling it at the time. And I just remember I only bought one round of it. I just remember it feeling like an extra strong caffeine, to be honest.
Mm.
I never bought it again.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. So the Austin Daily Stack, you got caffeine, you got L-tyrosine, you said 4 days a week. You got CDP choline or
CDP choline. Yeah.
CDP choline, and that's every day for you?
Yeah. The same with the L-tyrosine, pretty similar. Yeah, I
Okay.
do take a adaptogen too, called Rodalia rosea,
Yep.
something like that. Similar to ashwagandha, but it doesn't make your like emotions like super mute. It more so just it lowers your cortisol basically.
Mm. Is
Yeah,
that more towards the night? Do you take any like magnesium glycinate or
yeah,
melatonin or things at night to help you sleep and stuff like that?
yeah. Magnesium glycinate mixed with L-theanine. It's like a
Okay.
sleep mixture. Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
smooth stack right there. That's a smooth stack, honestly. That's interesting because a lot of people, well, a lot of influencers or people that have businesses and stuff like that, they like to gatekeep, everybody wants to gatekeep. They got some stuff they do, they like to get some going, made them $1 million
uh,
or whatever, then they'll be like, hey guys, just drink water, eat chicken and rice. It's like, come on, man.
so I've been around a lot of influencers. I met a lot of people at this point in time. I'll tell you this: I've almost
What's
have
the
never
most
met
popular among the influencers? What's the most popular thing?
nicotine for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
In what
nicotine.
form? Is it under the tongue?
Um, the the Zins,
Hmm.
the packet things. I did try that. It was a little too much for me. It made me dizzy. But
Same.
I did, yeah. I had a run with 2 milligram nicotine gum. But I I haven't done that in like 5 months to be honest, because I was reading on it and nicotine could affect like your fertility. So I was
Mm,
like, let's stop this for sure. But everybody's
yeah.
on drugs. Don't let them lie to you. Every successful person I've ever met, they're either on drugs or they have some sort of vice. Nobody is
Mhm,
like clean, 100%
mhm.
raw dogging life. Nobody.
Yeah. I used to try to do that. I was like, man, I gotta be able to do these things without because I take my stack is huge now, but nothing crazy, of course. But I was like, one day, this is what I used to think. I was like, one day I'm not gonna be able to get like all these vitamins and supplements, so I gotta know how to function without it. And I would like try to do like cold approach and try to work and try to do sales just with nothing. And it was like, bro, I'm fucking horrible. Like, and then on that point, like, I'm not even, it made even the work, like the training worse. Like, I'm
Yeah.
doing a shitty job and then like I'm doing less reps and it's just like everything was just more shittier. So it's like, all right, well,
Yeah.
what is really the ROI with this? Because I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. So that's when I was like, nah, I think I just got to stick to the stack. But that's interesting though. That's what's up, man. So as far as the you were in like the red pill, the come up when it kind of started, um
Yeah.
2020-ish, 2018-ish. You came up FitX Fearless and Myron and Fresh and Fit. You were on Fresh and Fit a couple times. I think you went on there like recently. But
Yeah.
um when people think of red pill, they think of like Andrew Tate and misogyny and they hate women and stuff like that and debating and shit like that. But you're more of the, most light-skinned nigga ever, chill, laid back. I'm just gonna talk to the shorties. I feel like you're one of the most light-skinned niggas like of all time. At least top three. Top three right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Maybe so. I've always had a more, I have a few polarizing takes. Like
Mhm,
on my other channel, sometimes I'll say some out of pocket stuff, but it's never. It doesn't come off like typical like red pill like Myron Andrew Tate sort of style. But I've always
mhm.
had a more balanced approach to like viewing and articulating like what I believe the red pill is, which is really just understanding the realities of like human nature in itself as it
Mhm.
pertains to like dating and relationships.
Yeah. And I feel like the way your delivery, like you're a little bit smoother, so women really wouldn't get as mad. I feel like if you were to say some of the stuff, but
Yeah.
when it comes to, you said you got some polarizing takes. So what are some of those polarizing takes that you believe?
Yeah, so I just posted one. I said, every woman you see, attractive or not, is either getting cracked or is going out on dates. Like some guy has her
Mhm,
attention. Basically, is what I was saying,
mhm.
and like that's offensive to some people, you know. Whereas like, oh, you
Yeah.
have women comment, oh, not all. I mean, it's always not all women. Like, of
Mhm.
course, not all women, but a vast majority of women you see on the street, on dating apps, Instagram, whatever, some guy is hitting that, you know.
Mhm.
So that's like a polarizing take that has offended some people. I said a few other things too. Uh, okay, I don't think most men will find like a virgin in the West, like these hyper religious guys and
Mhm.
whatever, looking for like their Virgin Mary, and maybe they're a virgin themselves too. I'm like, good luck. It's not happening. Like even if she is a virgin, she probably has got on her knees a few times, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah,
yeah,
sadly.
yeah, good luck with that.
Nah, facts. I remember you had this one video where it's talking about um white guys are they perform better in the dating market. Like when white guys are going from another race, as far as like interracial, they perform better and they're like more highly they have a better like approval rating. And
Yeah,
that's like a term in like the black pill space. They call it JBW, just be white.
yeah,
And of course that's bro, like of course that's true. Like me and my homies used to in high school, we used to kind of know that, but a lot of black people they don't want to admit that because it's like
yeah.
they take it back on themselves. Like, well, I can pull more than Connor. Like, nah, that doesn't mean anything. That's not me. And it's like, it's just a general thing. Like, it's a general consensus thing, and like I just knew as a black guy that Imma have to just be a little better, whether that's, like, be the D1 guy, whether that's be a little bit more handsome, whether that's be rich or something, but Imma need to have a little bit more of an edge if I'm trying to date out of my race. But
Yeah.
you said one thing that, bro, such a W quote, I'll never forget, 'cause I remember this. You were like, you know, as a black guy that you're that guy if you get with a white girl and they say, you're the first black guy I've been with, or I've never been with a black guy before. I
You're
was
the
like,
exception.
bro, because I've heard that from a white girl. So I was like, okay, that's when I knew I was that nigga, bro.
Yeah, not fact. So, if you're inclined to date interracially, with the exception of like the obvious snow bunnies who like only date black men or whoever else,
The mud sharks.
what? Yeah, exactly. You know, what I find is that you have to be exceptional, and
Mhm,
some people are like that with black women too. It's like they would choose an average white woman over an average black woman, but if that black woman was exceptional, very attractive, they would pick her over the average white woman.
mhm,
Same thing with the black men. I don't usually like black men, but because you're so exceptional, maybe it's the status, maybe it's the looks, whatever it may be, I will explore and experiment with you versus all the Chads and Connors I've gotten with previously. So
yeah.
yeah, you can make yourself the exception. Um, Honestly, what I found in terms of the Just Be White thing is that
Mhm,
it actually pertains like more than just dating, to be honest.
mm.
And
Oh, brutal truth nuke incoming.
yeah, so basically with content, business, social media, etc. If I was a white man saying the same exact things I'm saying right now, same business and everything, I
Mhm,
truly believe I would make twice as much,
mhm,
and I would have twice the viewership. Basically, is what I'm saying. And the
mhm,
reason why I think that is because there's been uh, so much proof in which I've seen my white counterpart, competition, whatever, with significantly less viewership pool than me, whatever, who is making either as much as me or more than me.
mhm,
And but there's a reason behind that too. It isn't just because he's white. It's
mhm,
because people naturally gravitate towards people that remind them of themselves. And so the white dating coach is going to have a vast majority of the population naturally relating to him
Mhm.
versus if I say the same words, I'm immediately going to reject racists or like people who can't see themselves in me. The reason why we're
Yeah.
having this conversation right now is because in some of my content, you subconsciously related yourself to me. And that
Mhm.
usually comes down to like race, right? Even a lot of the friends I've made in the social media space, even the OG Red Pill Avengers, like there's a reason why all of them were like African American is because naturally on a subconscious level, like humans, we're tribalistic. And so we kind of go to where we feel like we relate to the most. And sometimes your visual identity is like tied to that. So that's like technically a black pill. However, what I try to do, and even when it comes to dating too, is that I always try to disassociate myself from any stereotypes just so I can potentially get those people over the edge who might immediately put me in a box just because of my visual representation. Right. So when they listen to me speak, so when they see how I dress and present myself, even the woman I'm with, I'm not with like no Shaniquas or anything like that. I'm with like classy, like looking girls who look like they should be dating like some like
Brad
Paul
Pitt.
Walker looking. Yeah, exactly. So when they see all that tied together, I then become the exception in their
Mhm.
head. So Just Be White, I say that to say like Just Be White actually goes like higher than just dating, to be honest.
No, I agree. That's because people tend to forget, like, we live in a white country, we're only like 13% of the population. So, yeah, when people see you, they just attribute themselves to you. Like the dating coaches that I used to watch back in the day, like Todd V, like guys like that. And they were doing these like, yeah, you got to go up to a girl and you got to use all these, like, their game was just, it was like a book. It was like so technical. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna go do that, but there's no way I can say it like that because that would be crazy. Like I'm not even seeing myself saying these things. I'm like kind of having to filter it out because he's white, I'm black, and then on top of that, we just have kind of different styles and personalities. So it's
Yeah,
like when you guys more came into the scene, like um yeah, like you, Fresh and Fit, and people like that, it's like, okay, I can relate to this, I can relate to this, and that's really all what it's about is like just relatability. But no, that's pretty interesting though. But and another thing when it comes to being black, because this is tough, not being black, but just the when it comes to improving and looks maxing, it's always like as a white guy, there's not a lot of looks maxing tips and things like that, like black, because like hair wise, right? All the looks maxing tips for hair is just like you got the sea salt spray, you got this and that, and then you're gonna cover your hair or whatever here, and then you're gonna get this wolf cut or whatever, and it's like I'm lost. Like I have no idea what to do to ascend haircut wise. I've been thinking low cut is like the best black haircut you could have, looks maxing. But then I've seen like guys like King 68, you know what I'm talking about? He
hmm
got the length, he got braids, and I'm like, dang, like I like the length too, because I used to have braids and dreads, believe it or not. I used to be a YN. So I liked that, but that niches you down into the certain black girls or certain ghetto Shaniquas or whatever. Um,
yeah,
and it also like maybe dreads is tough because maybe braids like King 68 you could get away with it, but then you got the tattoos too. You got
yeah.
tattoos too. I got tattoos or one tattoo. So um I've been thinking like I'm gonna grow my hair out. I think I'm gonna try to do the braids and see how it is because I want some length. I got a big ass forehead. I kind of want to do something about that. If I could, bro, I was thinking of like Cat Williams, like get the perm, do something like that, or
No,
because
heck no.
That's you don't like that?
No, 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 don't get the perm.
I was like, because
Maybe,
dreads, braids, something like what is the looks max black haircut like? Because I've seen you talk about that too.
yeah. So yeah, the looks matching black haircut. So you can go two ways: universal appeal or niche appeal.
Mhm,
Niche appeal is going to be like the dreads, um, even the braids. It really depends though, on how like it's styled and whatnot. Like King 6'8" style braids, I feel like they are niche, but they could have universal appeal. It really depends on like how it looks on you as an individual, to be honest. But for the
mhm,
most part, for black men, it's going to be mid fades, tapers, with some length on top or some or waves.
mhm.
Like that's like the main hair sort of looks max there. And I've done everything. I've grown out my hair. I've tried high top. I've done everything. And so
Have you had
sometimes you
like
really don't.
length before, like dreads or braids?
I don't have the patience for that. No, never
Mhm.
done that one. But yeah,
That'd
you
be
really don't know
interesting.
until you test it. Yeah, yeah, it would be. But it would probably, I won't be able to do that. I can't do that one.
Nah, I feel that.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, a lot of, like I said before, like a lot of my image decisions comes down to like it's a strategic move
Mhm,
that helps with my appeal, not only in dating but like from a business standpoint. I work with these like, corporate 30, 35-year-old Caucasian dudes, Latino dudes. And so if I show up on a YouTube video with like dreads and braids and that, like, I'm going to get placed in that YN box, and I don't want to appeal to
mhm.
like YNs, to be honest. So
Nah, facts, facts. So when it comes to looks maxers in the space now, I mean, we got people like Clav, we got Andrew Janik, who he's like a 6'5" dude, Australian. He had a crazy glow up. Um, and a lot of these guys are doing surgery, they're doing hard maxes. Guys like Kent, Clark Kent, or whatever his name is, but like do you look at any of these looks maxers and watch like the streams? Like do you fuck with Clav? Do you do you fuck with any of the look smashers, Clav or
I,
anybody?
yeah, I know who they are, especially Collab, obviously. I don't really watch streams. Clips may come up, but I'm not like actively following it. I actually DM Clav, and I was like, "Hey, bro, I did this Chad versus Tyrone video with like my Chad friend Ocon back in Orlando, where we
Mhm,
kind of did the like rate us, and I beat Chad in that video. So I thought it would be interesting to do like a versus me and Clav. I think
mhm,
I would win, to be honest. I think I have more appeal than Clav. You could clip that too.
mm.
So like, I was down for it, but he ended up like running somebody over, and then like he got distracted, and like it just never happened. But yo,
Yeah.
Clav, if you're still down to do the verses, bro, like this, he'll he'll probably be biased because of status right now, to be honest. But
Mhm. That's what I was
if it
gonna
was just
say.
like,
Would do you
yeah,
mod Clav or because like s- let's just do looks. Looks wise, do you mod Clav and then you and Clav going out Miami Brickle, talking to girls, do you mog him in that? What do you think? Where would you edge him out at?
honestly, on a global scale, I think he might win. Like in South America and all that stuff, maybe.
Mhm,
But I truly think I have more like appeal than Clav. Especially, yeah, I think I do because I know what I attract all race, like white women, um, Latinas, like everything,
mhm,
black girls. And so with Clav, I think Clav has that like objective, like super like basically Clav lacks sex appeal. I have sex appeal being on Clav. When I show up, I got the physique,
mhm,
I got tattoos, jawline, beard. You know, yeah, I think I would be Clav in that sense, and I say that humbly too. Like, there's no like humble way to like really say that, but I don't know. We'll
mhm.
have to test it out, to be honest. Oh shit, but yeah.
No, I actually that's not a crazy take, I don't think. Um, because I agree. I think that's where some dimorphism could come into play. Um, so I could see how you could say that, honestly. Um, when it comes to like, okay, so you mock Clav. So is there anybody that you think that mogs you, like King 68? Like who do you think that is like, this guy, he got me?
King 6'8" for sure, for sure. Um, I think
Marlon?
I think on a facial look, obviously he has frame and height, like that's he's blowing me out of the water. Also, he's like a whole different, like it's like tomatoes and like apples or apples and oranges. You know, he
He's
has a whole
blowing you
different
out the
like.
water like that?
I think he has like such a different look. I think me and King 6'8" could be like Eskimo bros for sure, absolutely.
Oh, well, for
But like
sure, yeah.
if we were like side by side,
No homo, by the way. I'm kind of glazing like crazy right now, but yeah.
yeah, if we were like side by side, he would probably, yeah, he would mock me. Yeah, he has a height frame, and I think
Mhm,
looks wise we're probably like equal, you
mhm.
know. So
What about
yeah,
Marlon?
Marlon, yeah, yeah, he got me too for sure. Height, frame, light skin, but that's a different type, right? I feel like Marlon is gonna attract maybe differently because he has more of that like pretty boy archetype,
Yeah.
whereas I have more of that masculine archetype, you know.
No, for sure. That makes
Yeah.
sense, bro. That makes sense. And then we've been talking about looks a lot this podcast. I mean, I feel like this is a good stream. This is a good pod. Lastly though, we got to let the guys know, how to make money and up their
Mhm.
business and things like that. Because looks is definitely important, but if you don't have, I feel like, money and status, or you don't have financial abundance or something that you're building, then it's pretty tough for you, honestly. Like, I do think looks are the most important. I didn't always used to think that. Maybe back in 2020-ish, red pill stage, like I thought like money, status, fame. That's like that's like the biggest things. And then game as well, charisma, things like that. But now just learning more about like genetics, um, mating, things like that, height, I'm like, wow, looks are might be the most important thing. Cause then again, your personality even is kind of attributed through your looks. Like if your personality is perceived through your looks. So if you're like ugly, chopped, and then you're quiet, you're like weird. They're like, you're the lame guy. They're like, this guy's always in the back of the class. What's up with him? Like, check out this lame-o. Check out this
Yeah.
weird guy. But if you're like handsome and you're a Chad, you got chiseled jawline, you know what I'm saying? Like you're 6'5", and then you're quiet, people are gonna be looking at you like, "Oh, he's that quirky guy," you know? Oh, girls will be like, I love a quiet guy. Like I like a quiet, shy guy." So it's like even personality, looks is gonna be seen through that. So I would say looks are the most important. Then probably comes, um, yeah, I mean, I would say looks,
Most
and then
most
falls
important
everything else.
most important for what? I think looks is the most important for genuine attraction or genuine desire, as some people say,
Hmm.
for sure. Um, but the thing about attraction is that women, they're multifaceted. So you believe it or not, I know this may sound crazy, but not every woman needs to be like super highly physically attracted to the guy that
Hmm.
they, some women have more of a status pool. Some women have more of a provider finance pool. As long as they're marginally attracted to them, or he hits like the minimum attraction threshold,
Hmm.
he can work his way in as long as he's willing to show that he can provide a good lifestyle, right? So and that also depends on her upbringing, her age, alongside with the like where she lives in the world. Like a woman in Miami might value looks more than a woman like in Brazil. You know,
Hmm.
so but yeah, I think for genuine desire, looks is the most important. But for long term retention, I would say money and lifestyle, like that will probably be the most important because otherwise you would just probably smash a lot, but you wouldn't be able to like retain past like smashing for a few months, to be honest.
Hmm.
Um, and then status is like a lever that is like the Uno wild card. It's like that helps with like retention and just attraction too. Just because women's
Yeah.
brains they're just gravitated towards like men who are important in some niche or field. So
Facts. So, would you rather be Elon Musk or would you rather be Brad Pitt but poor?
Elon Musk, absolutely. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Would I rather be a billionaire who's like slightly below average or be a broke, really handsome guy? Okay.
Oh, I
Let's
don't
change
wait.
it.
Maybe Elon Musk isn't ugly enough because you're
30
saying,
plus Elon Musk, 18 to 25 Brad Pitt. Broke
okay,
Brad Pitt.
okay, yeah, because 30 plus Brad Pitt broke is like, bro, what have you been doing?
Yeah, like you're
What have you
cooked,
been
man.
doing? No, I see
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because like, I feel like I think looks is more important as far as that because like, yeah, 18 to 25 Brad Pitt, but I just feel like okay, I have these genetics, I have these things that are like, bro, like if you're not born with, you're cooked. Like there's only so much surgeries or whatever that you could do. And then, I could build from there. So I got a good base. Women are attracted to me off bat. I have more, what's it called? Like approval rating as far as business goes. Cause of course, like with the halo effect, you're gonna be able to earn more money, you're gonna be able to get a job better. So like just being handsome is just such a cheat code. It's like, bro, I being Elon Musk, waking up, seeing myself every day, I would just be pissed. But then again, you have money, so you could do things to like look more handsome. But
Yeah.
nah, bro, I just could never be ugly. Like I couldn't, I couldn't do
So
that.
you never had an ugly phase in your life?
No, I did. Well, yeah, I mean, I did. I just posted my glow up actually, and looking back at it, I was like, looking now, I'm like, damn, I was ugly. But at the time, I was because I'm like 6'4", and I'm kind of decently like, I always had the genetics at least a little bit.
Mhm.
So I was never like shit ugly, like, you know what I'm saying? Like going to
Yeah.
two man with your friends is like jump scare ugly, but I was definitely uglier than now for sure.
Yeah. Where do you live?
I'm in Texas, but I'm moving to Miami probably in a couple weeks.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay. Nice. Nice. Yeah, man, you'll see how the game might be a little bit different here for sure. You know,
I'm gonna get bald.
and you just might be, you say, yeah, 6'4". I mean, I mean that's a big lever in itself. So like
Mhm.
you'll be fine. It's like Miami's easy and difficult at the same time. It's easy because there's such a strong volume of women here in different demographics and diversity, but it's
Mhm.
difficult because there's always a player above you. Always, doesn't matter how good looking you are, how rich you are. There's always a player above you competing for the same girl.
Mm.
You know, so
No, and lastly, that's interesting. We'll talk about this last, and then we'll end it. You
mhm.
lived in you live in Miami right now, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you've lived in LA before, right? No?
I, Florida the whole time. So I lived in Orlando since 2019. I moved to Miami 10 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Miami's interesting, yeah, because like all the influencers and like young live streamers or whatever, like everybody's kind of over there. But I feel like Miami, the entry level to get into the stuff is just a little bit lower. Like you could go outside and you can kind of be in the mix. But like if you go to LA, just compared to LA, if you go to LA, like and you don't have any motion or clout or whatever, I feel like you're not even gonna be able to get into the scene. Like where things are going on, where things are happening, it's like so high in the hills. There's like gated communities, places that you can't even find on like Apple Maps. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't even find Drake's house on a map. That's where everybody's at for the party. And it's like,
Yeah.
dang, bro, like I'm not even in the mix. But Miami, it's like, hey, you go outside, you could see a live streamer or somebody like that walking out. But how is Miami like? You've been there 10 months now. Like, what are the biggest things that you see that's like, okay, this is good and like pros and cons?
Hmm. Pros. like I said, the volume of women. You
Mhm.
see attractive women every 5 minutes. Like it's nonstop every single day and in high volume, like almost to the point where you get like desensitized from it. But at the
Mhm.
same time, you'll be like, damn, then down, then down. Like that's great because it no longer makes them special. Versus in other
Yeah.
cities, like there will be like one really attractive girl in the gym, or like two really attractive girls at the bar or wherever you're at, right? But now in Miami, it's like 80% of these girls are qualified, right? So that's the pro of it. Um, Honestly, Miami is just a lot of pros, like access, the best nightlife, best restaurants. The cons though is Miami is really small. Like
Mhm.
LA is pretty big, California, Texas is pretty big too. Miami, like the main parts of Miami, Brickell, Edgewater, Midtown, Wynwood, etc. Everything's separated by like 15 miles at most, including Miami Beach. So it's a ton of people in one small area, which obviously then like the traffic is horrible. You might run into like same people, especially if you live in like a pocket. Like for example, if you move to Brickell and you only go out in Brickell, you're going to see like the same people over and over again. You know?
Like Myron,
Uh,
Myron
yeah,
and Clav every day.
you might, yeah. You might.
That's funny.
Cons really just the price, to be honest. Most expensive city I've ever lived in. Just moving here, your lifestyle expenses just double immediately.
Mhm.
If you want to maintain like the same lifestyle, you could always find like a cheap spot outside of the city or whatever, or with roommates. But yeah, super expensive to live here. You pay to park everywhere. Food's expensive, so yeah,
Okay. One big reason I was gonna go there definitely for the collabs, because I feel like
mm,
there's so many people there, and people hit me up already like, "Yeah, bro, let's work or something. Let's do this." And it's like, "Where you at?" "Oh, I'm in Miami." "You not in Miami? You not in Miami?" It's like, "Dang, bro, everybody's in Miami." So like,
yeah,
since you've been there, have you I know you don't do as many collabs probably as you used to do, but have you been
yeah.
doing a lot more collabs now since you've been here? And do you have any like collabs upcoming for you?
So 1 second. Sorry. My
Other than
phone was.
the Clav Mog battle,
Yeah.
what else you got?
I actually have no class planned, man. There's plenty of opportunities to do so if I really wanted to, but honestly, my brand is no longer headed in that direction. I do like podcast stuff like this because I
Mhm,
like stuff like this, but in terms of like vlog collabs or like entertainment based collabs, really doesn't make sense for me. But yeah, I mean, I could always message somebody if I really want. Like I can message Myron at any time. I can message Fresh. So like the opportunity is there, which is what I like about Miami. But
mhm,
I don't plan on doing collabs just because my brand has sort of pivoted from being like entertainment based to being like really informational based, like almost boring to be honest. Like is my stuff is like very talking head stuff.
mhm.
But I'm focused on the business now, and that style of content tripled and quadrupled my business. So I got to do what works, you know?
That's facts. Hey, that's good to hear, man. Well,
Yeah.
hey, appreciate you coming on here, man. We had a good little stream. We was going for a minute. I'm glad we got to do that. And I know yesterday you only probably had like an hour or so. It was better that we did this today.
Yeah.
Um, shit. All right, I'm gonna end the stream and then